And I'm gonna get a lot of too, but honestly, there could be the way where you put Crawford over.
You know, he coming behind his jab, he throwing straight punches, he going to the body, going in up and down. He just got to tighten up a little bit on his defense, but other than that, man, he's good.
The pound-for-pound #1 spot is never guaranteed in a sport built on opinions and arguments. Fans and analysts are constantly debating it. But one of boxing's most dangerous fighters has made his view loud and clear. David Benavidez, known as the Mexican Monster, recently spoke about Terence "Bud" Crawford, and it wasn't a challenge. He said that at 168 pounds, Crawford didn't just beat Canelo Alvarez, he broke him down completely. A smaller man who climbed weight classes managed to destroy the fighter once seen as unbeatable.
Is he on the Mount Rushmore of
Hell
boxers?
Yeah. Yes. Fuck yeah.
Yeah?
3-time undisputed. He just beat Canelo.
Yeah.
The face of boxing. So now you can say Bud is the face of boxing.
Greatest of all time, or?
Greatest of all time.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it can never be one great, but he definitely one of the greatest of all time for sure.
Benavidez understands what it takes to win at the top because he's been a champion multiple times and has never been defeated. His comments about Terence Crawford weren't just flattery or simple admiration. In a sport fueled by ego and rivalries, Benavidez did something rare. He didn't just compliment Crawford, he called him one of the greatest ever, comparing him to the Mount Rushmore of boxing. To Benavidez, Crawford isn't just another champion. He's a once-in-a-generation fighter who has changed the sport forever.
Terence Crawford, because, he beat, he did something that I didn't think he was going to do. He went and he beat Canelo. That's 3 weight classes going up, And he made it look pretty easy. So you have to give it Crawford.
And praise like that, coming from one of your biggest threats, carries real weight. After watching Crawford move up and capture every title, Benavidez gave him full respect. But what he said next revealed what he admired most. When asked what impressed him most about Crawford, Benavidez didn't mention speed, footwork, or switch-hitting ability. Instead, he talked about something that can't be taught: heart. He said what stood out most was Crawford's willingness to stand and trade punches with a heavier hitter like Canelo even when he was already comfortably winning.
What impressed me the most was Crawford's ability to stay focused in the fight, and not only just to stay focused and box, but he also got rugged in there. He started balling with him towards some late rounds. That's something I appreciate in a fighter. He was already up. He could have chose to just box, but he went in there and he tried to brawl with him in the last round. So that's really what impressed me. His heart more than anything impressed me.
Crawford didn't just aim to win. He wanted to dominate. That's his inner fire. The hunger to prove himself and finish strong, no matter the risk.
It's a good fight, it's a good fight for both of them. Good fight for, I think it's more important for Crawford than anybody, but I think if anybody could beat Canelo, I think Crawford could.
Yeah, I know you said he could be the guy. What kind of a chance do you ultimately give him?
I think you give him like a 7 out of a 10.
Oh wow, that high. I thought you were going to say like 25.
Crawford is good. Crawford is good, and I think he's been known that he's going to fight Canelo for a long time. And Crawford, he likes to pick up the weight, so I'm sure he's been working on the weights for a long time. So Crawford, when he has with a person that has a big IQ like that, if you do enough weights, and you stay working for a long time, you have a puncher's chance.
Benavidez believes that's the real secret behind Crawford's success. Skill alone doesn't make him dangerous. It's that ruthless mindset that does. According to Benavidez, that killer instinct is something Canelo Alvarez has lost over time.
And I'm gonna get a lot of too, but honestly, there could be the way where you put Crawford over Mayweather. Because of going up, you didn't see Mayweather go up from 147 to 168. That's crazy, bro. And honestly, I thought Crawford was gonna have more of a hard time because he had a hard time with Madronov. So imagine going up to it. That's crazy. But I don't want to take nothing away from Mayweather. Mayweather's the greatest of all time. But I think that was a really big risk that Crawford took, and then he ended up winning. So you have to give credit to that too. That's a big risk. That'd be like me going up and fighting Usyk right now, heavyweight.
I know that's been kind of hinted.
I'm not thinking of that right now. I'm not thinking of that right now. But that's kind of like how that'd be. So you have to, bro. That's a lot of. He has a lot of balls to do that. And not only to go do that to show the world that he's really like that.
The respect for Crawford also doubled as criticism for Canelo Alvarez. After Crawford proved himself as one of the greatest ever, Benavidez used the moment to highlight Canelo's downfall. He explained that Canelo's defeat wasn't due to lack of talent or strength, it came from arrogance. Canelo underestimated his opponent and paid the price. Benavidez said Canelo walked in thinking he could easily walk through Crawford, land one big shot, and end it, and that attitude cost him everything.
I'm not happy that he lost. I kind of feel like that could have been me. That was my moment. You know what I mean? If I would have gone in there, I know I would have beat him. You know what I mean? So I don't want to be a hater, but that's kind of how I feel. But you know what I mean? I give all the flowers to Crawford. You know what I mean?
That should have been me in there. That should have been my.
If I would have got that fight, I would have been me. I would have been the one getting my hand raised. But like I said, it didn't happen, and that's why it didn't happen, because Canelo knows that would have happened.
Benavidez made it clear that kind of arrogance has no place in boxing. He warned that underestimating your opponent will always come back to hurt you. In the end, he said, the same ego that made Canelo great is what ultimately brought him down.
I think Crawford took it way more serious than Canelo, which is kind of weird because, you know, the amount of money that Canelo was making. And I know all these people say, oh, yeah, you know, talking shit about Canelo. I'm not talking shit about him. He just didn't look like he really prepared 100%. He's throwing 10 punches around. Or I think it was his ego is that big that he thought that, oh, I'm just going to walk through him, catch him with a good shot, and it's going to be done. As you can see, Crawford is a different type of fighter. Not only has he had the boxing IQ, he has that dog in him. He was in there. He was brawling with Canelo like in the 8th, 9th, getting the best out of him. Boxing, he's epitome of a great boxer. There's a lot of lessons to be learned in that fight. You know what I mean? If you really want to make something come true and you really believe it, you can make it come true. And then the other lesson is, don't let your ego get the best out of you. Don't think that you don't have to prepare because you're a bigger fighter. You know what I mean? That shit will bite you in the.
With Canelo dethroned, all attention shifted to the next major clash, Terence Crawford versus David Benavidez. It looked like the perfect passing of the torch, the new king against the uncrowned one. Fans were hyped for what seemed like the fight of the year. But when Benavidez was asked if he'd take the fight, his response shocked everyone. He didn't just turn it down, he dismissed the idea entirely. Benavidez said he's done fighting at 168 pounds. Not even a huge payday against Canelo could change his mind.
Could you still make 168? Is that a possibility?
Honestly, bro, my plan is after this fight, I want to go down to 154. Nah, bro. I'm done with cruiserweight. You know, I want to take this opportunity, though. Yes, I say cruiserweight. I want to take this opportunity to, you know, congratulate Crawford. You know, he put a hell of a performance. He's up there in the Mount Rushmore of the greatest fighters of all time. And, you know, let Crawford do his thing, bro. You know, at the end of the day, I have no interest in fighting Crawford. I have no interest in going down to 168. I mean, yeah, it's nice that it would be dope winning all titles, but I'm way past that on 168. You know, the only reason I wouldn't even go down to 168 for Canelo, and I'm just being real with you, you know, and let Crawford do his thing, let him have his, let him. I want to give his flowers, man, because he's a great fighter, man. When there's no other fighter that's coming up from 147 to beat a type of fighter like Canelo at 168, you know, and Crawford, you know, he's one of the greatest of all time. So, you know, I have no interest in going down to 168. I'm not saying that I'm scared of Crawford or whatever, you know, but Crawford's a man at 168. That's his weight class. I'm done with one.
In a cold, straightforward statement, Benavidez shut down what could have been boxing's biggest fight. His message was simple: let Terence Crawford rule his division. By walking away from 168, he made Crawford the undisputed king in the eyes of fans.
Canelo fight look with Benavidez. Who do you favor?
I still got it at 50-50. Benavidez good, but Canelo is, you know what I mean, great. We just gotta see the fight, man. We all want to see the fight.
Do you think he gets him to the body? Because Google was laying a lot of body shots.
I don't know. That's why I said we gotta watch the fight. You know what I mean? It's a different style, different type of fighter. You got two strong fighters going head to head.
Is Canelo the only 68U fighter? Would you consider a Benavidez?
Yeah, Canelo the only one.
But why would the top man in his division move up instead of cashing in on bigger fights? That's the part many fans overlook. Benavidez has a complicated history at 168. He's been a two-time world champion but lost both titles, once after testing positive for cocaine and again for missing weight. Cutting down to 168 has always been brutal for him. Now, he's ready for a new chapter at 175 pounds, even eyeing cruiserweight later. His focus is on challenging new monsters like Artur Beterbiev, Dmitry Bivol, and Gilberto Ramirez.
For the opportunity to fight, we've been in talks fighting Surdo Ramirez for his belts at cruiserweight. So we're already in talks of that, you know, and then that's definitely a fight that has to happen because I used to spar him when I was 18 years old. All the way, you know, I sparred him a lot, so I know that's a pay-per-view fight. So it was a pay-per-view sparring session, so the fight is going to be, you know, way better. But yeah, definitely, that's in my sights. You know, I definitely want to go up to cruiserweight, and I want to be a reigning defending champion at light heavyweight, and then make my way up to cruiserweight. But
so even though Benavidez truly respects Crawford, he's leaving the 168-pound crown to him, not out of fear, but out of recognition and a desire to chase new goals.
I put 5. That's right.
Wow. That's cheating.
I love it.
That is cheating.
That's a heel turn. You the boss.
That
I love
is heel.
it. That's a heel turn.
I love it. You do that 5.
Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. Roy at his peak. Just remember this: if Roy would have retired after the Ruiz fight, he would have replaced Sugar Ray Robinson as the greatest fighter of all time.
I agree.
Right?
I
but
agree.
he didn't, and the rest of that stuff is in there, right? So I get it. But Roy at his peak, I think, had a higher peak than anyone on this list.
I agree.
Okay, Manny Pacquiao, we've all said it a million times. I think he is, outside of Sugar Ray Robinson, I have Manny Pacquiao's second greatest pound-for-pound fighter ever. Floyd Mayweather never lost. And did he cherry pick when and where? Yes. But guys, from 130, 135, he cleaned out 135. He beat the best guy at 130, beat the best guy at 135. Yes, did he pick and choose at 140, 47, and 54? Yeah, but he won all those fights.
That's right.
And he beat a lot of good fighters. And more than that, put Floyd at his best with anyone through history. You do not know who wins.
It leaves boxing with one burning question. Did Benavidez's pride cost fans the real super fight, or is he simply avoiding the man he just called one of the greatest ever? That's up for debate. Today's video ends here. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit the bell, like, and subscribe so you don't miss any updates. Share your thoughts below. We'll catch you in the next one.